Hello there, Flosstube! It's Brittany, back again very soon this time. It's getting close to the end of the year, and I thought I needed to give you guys an update on what I've been up to. I think my last video was a lot longer ago than I would have liked, so I guess what is going on in my life, that's what I'll tell you first. So I mentioned last time that I was working 3 jobs, still am working 3 jobs, but the new year is looking to hopefully be a little less busy for me. Currently I'm working 6 days a week, sometimes 7, and it has definitely been hard. I feel like I've been kind of working myself, into a ditch and wearing myself out for sure. But good news, the costume shop wants to hire me on full time, so I have given my 2 weeks for the bakery job, which ended up being really fantastic. I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to work there. They hired me at a time when I really needed it, and were so patient and worked with me when the costume shop wanted me back, and through some tough family times that I've had recently, they just were so flexible, and the owners are 2 women who really care about their employees. So I have no regrets about working there, and it really is just a matter of, the costuming is more in line with what I would like to do with my life in the future, and just the fact that I can't keep up the work schedule that I have been doing right now. So hopefully the new year is going to be a little less busy, and I'll have lots of time for stitching and for keeping you updated a little better. I would like to make videos more often, at least once a month, and hopefully it will be once a month, because I would really like to premiere for my birthstone dragon cell. I would like to show off on the 1st of each month, maybe that dragon all stitched up for you to see. So with that, that's pretty much what's going on in my life. Just a lot of work. I hope all of you had a Merry Christmas if you celebrate, and if you're in the midst of Hanukkah, you're having a good Hanukkah, and any other way that you celebrate your religion or just celebrate friends and family this time of year. I hope that it was a good one, and that you had maybe lots of stitchy presents to open or to give. Hopefully, if you were intending to give stitchy things away this holiday season, you were able to finish them, and I'm sure they were all loved and treasured. So with that, let's go straight into an update on my cross-stitch progress. The only reason I have cross-stitch progress to show you is because it has been such a long time since I made a video last. And there was Thanksgiving, which I wasn't working and got a lot of good stitching time in. And then I had a few days around Christmas down in Nashville with my parents that also I was able to get some stitching done during. So some of this progress is old, some of it is new. I don't have any finishes. This year I ended up, and I'm planning to do a year in review video as well once I get everything sorted and put together. That will showcase the current whips I have that I'm taking into the new year, and of course the finishes that I made this past year. But as far as this video goes, I just have some whips to update you on. It was kind of a modge podge of what I worked on this past couple months. I had started to do a SAL and then just got too busy for it. So some of it, the reasoning behind the projects I worked on this month were because of SALs. Some of it I just was like, I kind of want to stitch that. So the first one was a new start, my last video, and that is my Fallout Piper Wright pinup picture. I actually pulled this out again because it's a lot easier than inserting a photo. So this is what she looks like again. It is a piece of fan art done by a woman named Graziano, and I have permission from her. I paid for the rights to convert it into a pattern. She also sent me the print, which is fantastic. But I have turned this artwork into a pattern using Pick to Pat, and I'm doing it on an 18 count piece of white Aida that I distressed a little and added a little bit of kind of aging to it. And last time you saw, I had some work, I think, just done on her leg, but I was able over Thanksgiving to get quite a bit done on her. So here's where she's at right now. And this is the leg that I was working on last time. You can see that I have almost completely filled in this top portion, and then I got quite a lot of work on the reds up into her trench coat. The reason I kind of moved into the reds was because I had started doing the election sal for Stitch Mania, and we needed to work on a piece that had red in it for red states. And so that is, and there was also one that you had to work on a woman for Hillary Clinton being the first woman presidential candidate, or one of the first well-known ones. Yes. So I think this is coming along really well. I do like the colors that are here in the leg. I'm concerned about the face. So we'll see when I get up to the face, and who knows, maybe I can add a little back stitching to give it some detail if I'm not pleased with the detail. I didn't want the piece to be much bigger than this, so that is why I went with the 18 count and I went with the size that I did. So we'll see how it goes. This Needleminder is my Sparkle Cola bottle cap that I got from BronyCon. It is the bottle cap of a fake soda brand that is inspired by a fake soda brand from the game this piece is from. Kind of convoluted, but it makes sense to me. But I'll go ahead and pull up the picture next to her so you can kind of see where this comes into. Oof. So you can see where her leg is and then where her trench coat comes up. So hopefully up around here I'm going to get some of those brighter reds in there, and it'll be fun to stitch those bright colors. And really fun once I get up to the bottle of Nuka-Cola Quantum up there. The glowing blue soda. So I'm actually really excited with how she's going. I'm hoping to pull her out again sometime soon. But I've been distracted by a few other projects, as you will see. I've gotten some decent progress done. So after Piper, one of the themes in the Stitch Mania Election Challenge was to work on a project that you have not worked on in a long time. And so I looked at my list of whips and kind of discovered that I had started my October carousel horse last Halloween. And so it had been a year, really almost, since I had stitched on it, because I worked on it all through the month of October. And I don't know that I really stitched on it since then. So that's the piece I picked. It is from this book. It's called Carousel Horses in Cross Stitch. It's says Donna Cooler's name on here, so I'm not sure if she designed them all or if they're just designed by people from her studio. So that is the book. It's a really great book. I've done a flip through of this before in the past, but the one that I'm working on is Haunted October Nights, and this is what it will look like in the end once I get it all finished someday. Now, I worked on this project quite a bit because once I got started, I got far enough that I was like, you know what? I want to reach this kind of mini goal so that I can show everyone. So I got the horse done, which is pretty exciting. So no back stitching yet. I always hesitate to I know some people do back stitch along the way. However, I just get so nervous that it's going to kind of pull loose with the Q-snap. So I got, the October horse done. And the Needleminder, it's a heavy one, that I had been using on this one is this cute little black cat. It's kind of a big-eyed, I think some people call it a scaredy cat. And I got her from Nifty Needle Nannies, I believe. But yeah, that was very exciting to get that done. And I'm sure you're looking at this thinking, oh gosh, Brittany, you're going to be very close there on the edges. And yes, I am. I believe this is going to give me about just an inch on the edge, but I figure perhaps I'll sew some coordinating fabric or get a mat to, come right up there next to where the border will be. and get that. It's kind of hard to see him because he's so dark. That was a little better. That's better on this side. So yeah, I really like this pattern so far. I'm enjoying stitching it quite a bit, and I'm hoping to, of course, I've said in the past, I'm hoping to do all of these horses and figure out a way to frame them that I can switch them out month by month. The only horse that I don't care for is the March horse, and I may just do a conversion or kind of create my own custom March carousel horse for that. But yes, it was very exciting to get that horse done. I had to frog quite a bit up in the face and front legs, and it probably would have been okay had I left the mistakes I made, but as soon as I realized that I had made them, I couldn't look at it. And so I thought, just take the extra time, frog it, and know that it's right, and it'll be better. By the way, this fabric is a 28 count even weave called Lazy River. It's a Jobelin that I got from 123 Stitch. It was on clearance when I got it. And I thought that it was kind of a dark and stormy night kind of look for Halloween. So that is my Haunted October Nights. Very pleased with how that is coming along. When I went to visit my grandparents and my family in Illinois for Thanksgiving, I wanted to pack a few different projects in case I got bored of one of them. One of them was Piper, one was the Halloween horse. I actually packed my Dragon Sal, and I also packed the C3PO Sugar Skull pattern and whip that I have. The pattern is by StitchLine on Etsy. Here's a photo of it. So I have this piece here. I'm stitching it on a big piece of Picture This Plus Dusk, and it's a 32 count, and I am stitching it using B5200. I'm going to be using that color for all of them. The goal is to stitch, sorry, don't know what's going on there, but the goal is to stitch all of these on the same fabric with the white thread, and then when I'm done with them, I'll try and figure out if I want to frame them 3 individual frames or do something with them all together. But I got quite a good amount of progress on this done too. The last time I worked on this, I'm pretty sure I only worked on it when I started in Stitch Mania. So it's another one that I pulled out and hadn't worked on for a while. So here is where I'm at now on my C3PO Sugar Skull. You can see the fabric is a really cool variegation that I thought looked like space. So that's why I picked it. I think this side maybe gives me a little better lighting on these dark fabrics. So, there we go, it's a little better. You can see I have about the bottom quarter of this design stitched. You can see his eye and half of his mouth and his neck. And I'm going up the side, and of course C3PO has that giant forehead. So it goes, I think it's going to go up to about here. And kind of just for fun, I'm stitching this to where I'm going to stitch all of one half, and then I'll go back and stitch the other half. But I'm really pleased with how it's coming along. It's a very quick stitch when I'm able to sit down and stitch it. It definitely helps to be stitching this during the day and using the natural light from the window, because otherwise it is a little hard to see the holes in this 32 count dark fabric. And this Needleminder is Mew, the Pokemon from Juliet Nifty Needle Nannies. Oops. And just story time, the reason that I picked this Needleminder for this project is because Mew was a Pokemon that was kind of a bonus Pokemon in the original games, but there was a side game in the Pokemon series called Pokemon Snap, in which you would travel around in this like dune buggy and take pictures of Pokemon in their natural habitat. It was very fun. You'd get graded on your photos, and you kept trying to beat your own score and get better and better photos, and new worlds would release each time you kind of passed your goal. And the last level, kind of the last bonus level, you got like transported somehow into this like into space in this like rainbow field like dimension, and Mew was there, so Mew floated around in space in a bubble, and that's why I picked Mew, because of all my Needleminders for Star Wars. I was like, oh yeah, Mew lives in space, so that's why I picked Mew. So I'm really excited with how that project is going too. I worked on some projects this month that I hadn't worked on in a while, and I know I say it every time, but each time I go back to a project, I just want to keep working on it, and I enjoy working on them. I have some fun projects that I'm working on right now. I guess I kind of forget it. So this is kind of not in the right order, and it's very little progress. I probably don't even need to show you, but I thought, why not? This was also for the election sal. It was the day for blue states, and I got a teeny tiny bit of progress done on my Disney Dreams collection by Thomas Kincaid, the Tinkerbell and Peter Pan Fly to Neverland. That's what it's going to look like all finished. I'm nowhere near finishing this. This kit I actually was kindly given as a gift by Helga and EJ. I told you I'm going to mention it every time. I'm not even sure if they watch my videos anymore, but thank you for that. It's a project it'll be stunning to have done someday. But this is where I'm at with it now. Not even done with the first page of the pattern. But what I worked on this last time is I filled in a lot of this blue right up here. So not too much done. But I always watch Katie, the Stash Queen's videos, and she says, any progress is good progress. And she shows off sometimes just a few stitches, so I don't feel bad showing off, you know, because that's got to be, you know, that's more than 50 stitches. So, and then this is still one of my favorite Needleminders. It's a glass dome Needleminder with the Peter, Michael, Wendy, and John silhouettes that I got from Gina at Gina's Unique Boutique, or Gina's Unique Needleminders and more. But I thought this was perfect for this pattern, so I still really like that one. And that's a fun project too, but I only worked on it for the one day for the stitch along, and then had kind of moved on to other projects. I'd love to get this out again for a little while. We'll see when the mood strikes me when I want to do it. And I believe that this is, oh no, 2 more whips that I worked on while I was away. This next one I worked on because I saw somebody post in Stitch Mania about it, and I was like, that's it, I have to pull mine out and work on it. So thank you to whomever that was. I'm sorry, I don't quite remember. And the other big thank you for this piece goes out to my good friend who gave me the fabric to this. I forget if I've told you who gave it to me. And I don't remember if she'd like me to say it, so I won't say it. But she's definitely going to know who it was. But it's my Sing a Sampler whip. And last time I worked on this, I finished the first part of it, which was the doe and the deer, or, you know, doe, a deer, female deer. And stopped after finishing that. It was a good stopping point. So I was working on Ray over Christmas and on the plane ride home. And I was able to, hold on, the suspense. I was able to finish that block. So you can see now I have doe, a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun. And that's all so far. So this project, I am doing a mixture of the threads that are called for, some of them that I had from previous whips, some that my friend kindly sent along with the fabric that I'm stitching this on after she finished the piece. And I just love those colors in the Ray block, the sun and then the blue of the sky. The 2 blues in here are DMC conversions that I made. But I really like it. And it's so fast. I did screw up these letters so many times. but it goes pretty quick. I think I could finish probably this whole pattern fairly quickly if I wanted to. So if you are not familiar with this pattern, it of course is based on the song from The Sound of Music that goes with the solfege of the musical scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And Silver Creek Samplers is the one who did the pattern. And there are 4 parts to the pattern. It goes all the way through and ends with do again. And because, of course, that will bring you back to do. So this is the next part that I'll be doing. It's mi and fa. And I have something planned for fa when I eventually get to it. But yes, I'm really excited to get back into this. And my friend, you know who you are. I was thinking of you the whole time that I was stitching on this. And I'm so happy. I know I told you on Christmas, but I'm so happy that you are in my stitchy life and my normal life. Sorry I haven't had a chance to really be as good a friend as I probably should have in the past few weeks. But I'm really happy with how that's going too. And that was fun to pull out for a change. I think why maybe I'm having such a great time with my stitching is that I may give some of these as gifts when they're finished, but right now I don't really have any strict deadlines on anything. So I can kind of pick and choose what I want to stitch on and not feel bad that I'm not stitching on something else that I should be stitching. And along with that, I don't have much stuff for like my Etsy store or anything else that I'm obligated to stitch, whether because someone paid for me or I feel like I need to get it done for a gift. I do have some things on my back burner that I'm collecting things to make, but with how busy I've been with real jobs, work, you know, it's been nice to be able to take a casual approach to my stitching again and a casual approach to my crafts again, because October was busy. November was busy. Anyhow, I have one more whip to show you, and then I have some haul to show you, and then we'll talk about the rest of the costumes that I made after I spoke to you last. So this next whip is a piece I started in Stitch Mania 2015, so it is about a year and a half-ish old at this point. It is called Ebony and Ivory, and that is what it looks like. This is a dimensions kit that I started in Stitch Mania 2015. I worked on one day then. I worked on one day of Stitch Mania this year, and I hadn't touched it since then. The other day I was like, I don't really know what I want to stitch on. So I looked at my list of whips, and earlier this year I had been trying to do a rotation based on how old my whips were, and I was going in order. And so I had gotten to the whip before this one and hadn't gotten a chance to start this one up again. So I was like, you know, I'll try and maybe hop back onto that rotation and work on that. So I got quite a bit of progress done on this, and I only have been working on this in the past 2 days. It's on this really horrid Aida, though. It is so stiff and so sharp. When I put it in my Q-snap, the edges fold back like this. They don't fold around, they fold back. And as I'm stitching it, like, rubs my skin raw. It's really terrible. And I'm only going to have about 1 inch on all the sides when I'm done. I was stitching over here along the cat's back, and I have another 12 stitches to add, so I'm really only going to have some. I'm not really impressed with that, but I'm so far that I'm just going to go along with it. So anyhow, the progress that I made. You can see here I'm working on the white cat, and there you go. Last time you saw it, it only had these 2 darkest colors in here, or it had the darkest color, and then the second darkest color I had come down with half the stitches. When I picked it back up, I had to go back up and finish that and fill in those darker stitches over here in the eye. And then I started with this lightest color that you see there, the light tan or beige color. And this is the first dimensions kit that I've worked on that I've run into the whole dimensions shtick, you know, where they use half crosses and different amounts of threads per stitch to create depth. And so this lightest color is done in 3 strands and half stitches, if you could see there. I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. It makes me feel like I'm forgetting to go back and cross the stitches, but because it's all kitted that way and I've never finished a project that way, I'd like to finish it. So I am going to follow the thread counts and the type of stitch they're instructing me to do. But this is another one that I've started stitching and I'm like, oh, I just want to keep stitching on it. I love it. It's another one too that I've worked on 2 days. And then, you know, I'm working on it now and I really enjoy it. Something that I've already noticed is that the colors seem washed out in here and it feels like the cat is going to be a little more cream colored in the end. But I'm thinking once you get all of that dark wood of the piano in, it might brighten it up a little bit. Because the Ada itself is an off-white color, not bright white. But yeah, I'm really excited about this one. It's going to be really cool when I get the pinks in the nose and ears and the blue of the eyes in. Also, this Needleminder is my little Meowth that I got from Julie at Nifty Needle Nannies. And it is so cute, and I thought that it was just perfect for this pattern because I was stitching a white cat and I had a little white Needleminder cat to put on it. So that's that. Those are my whips, and I have lost the needle on this one. So hopefully I'll be able to find that. If not, it's okay. I actually just bought some new needles at... Although the needle in this kit was a very sturdy needle, which was actually very helpful when trying to stitch with that many threads. So hopefully I'll be able to find it now that I think about it that way. I guess I will look for that later. Because we're almost, well, I honestly don't know how long this video will be. We'll see. But we're done with the whips. That's all of the projects that I've worked on since I last saw you, minus my Dragon Sal. My Birthstone Dragon Sal, I finished up Garnet Dragon, and then I also have stitched up the February Amethyst Dragon because I'd like to stay a few months ahead. So that way, if there's a month that I don't have time to do it, I'll still have it ready to release to everyone and have a stitched example of it. So next, I think we can go to haul. Since I didn't have any new starts, I didn't have any new finishes, we'll move to haul. So last video, I actually did mention that Julie at Nifty Needle Nannies had her year anniversary. She called it her Nanniversary, which I thought was really fun. And she had a whole bunch of fantastic giveaways that she randomly drew, and I happened to win one, which was very exciting. It's the first time I've won any giveaway through Flosstube / the cross stitch community, so it was very exciting. And I won 2 Prairie Schooler patterns plus the floss to go with them. And because it was autumn when her anniversary happened, these are 2 autumn kind of collection patterns. So this one is the Prairie Schooler. It's book number 140, and you can see here it's called Pumpkin Patch, and it has a kind of sampler looking one that has a pumpkin patch with a house and a scary tree and owls and crows and a cat, and it says, "See the pumpkin, fat and round, growing in a patch on the ground. It will make a jack-o'-lantern with 2 big eyes, or maybe I will bake it into 2 fat pies." So that is that pattern, and of course it comes over here like most Prairie Schoolers do, with some little bonus ones that you can make into little ornaments or whatever you would like to. It has an owl, a jack-o'-lantern, a scary cat, and a witch. which of course I love cats and I love Halloween. So I'm sure I will find time to stitch these. I don't have any Prairie Schooler patterns. I've never stitched a Prairie Schooler pattern, so I'm actually very excited to get a chance to. And the other one, as I mentioned before, they're both autumn themed. This one is called Autumn Leaves. Has kind of a similar sampler style main piece and then the little extras. The main piece says, "Come," said the wind to the leaves one day, "come o'er the meadows and we will play. Put on your coats of scarlet and gold, for autumn is here and days grow cold." I like that. It's cute. This one is book 132, by the way. So there is the more sampler. Sorry for the reflection. It has a house and some crows and pumpkins. Very similar to the other one. And then some more little mini patterns. I like these ornaments down here. Those look nice. So those are to the two patterns. Here's all the DMC colors. Very much fall and very primitive, like Prairie Schooler patterns are. So all I need is fabric for those, and I'll be able to stitch those. And then also what came with those two patterns, which is really fun, and of course, who am I to ever say no to Needleminders? I don't know if you've noticed, but this has filled drastically since my last video. And already in my last video, I was commenting about how I had so many more Needleminders than whips. This is even worse. But, you know, they make me happy. I actually really enjoy seeing them on this board. It's cute. But Julie, I'm almost full. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'll have to get another one. But anyhow, she gave me 2 Needleminders with the giveaway. The first is this really sweet Halloween owl. Purple, black, and orange with lots of blingy rhinestones. Check that out. And a cute little purple bow on her head. And a heart-shaped tummy. So cute. And then the other one is, oh, this beautiful, beautiful silver leaf, maple leaf with red rhinestones in it, which is beautiful. Check that out. And look how sparkly it is. So that was really a fun surprise. And Julie is just so generous. All of the prizes that she had on offer were fantastic, and I'm very pleased with the one I received. So that is the first part of my haul. The second part that I got is LJ at, well, Lucas at Fabrics by LJ had a big sale after Thanksgiving. Was it a Cyber Monday sale or Black Friday? It was one of those sales. And I have not had a chance to work with any of his fabric, so I saw that it was going on and I was like, oh, maybe I can snag a piece, because they go quick. I don't know if any of you have attempted to get fabrics from him, and all of the ones I've seen are beautiful, but they go fast. So I was actually very pleased because I did manage to score a piece of fabric from him. This one is an opalescent Ada fabric, and I didn't realize it was opalescent until it got here. And so it's very sparkly, and it's a really beautiful turquoisey teal color, a light teal. It looks blue there, but it's more green in life. And it's got a nice subtle variegation, and the sparkle is just so beautiful. It's an 18 count Ada, and I'm going to have to think really hard what I want to stitch on here. I messaged him to let him know that I was, to let him know my email address so he could charge me. And I said maybe I would do a sea serpent on it, which would be cool. Maybe design a sea serpent and do it on here. That's beautiful. So anyhow, I'm really excited to find something to stitch on that, and I'm excited to finally manage to get a piece of LJ's fabrics. Or Lucas's fabrics. Yeah. So I have one more piece of Stitchy haul to show, and then I have a million Needleminders to show. So we'll get going again. Sorry, I'm very low energy tonight. It was I can't say it was my first day off in a while because I had some days off for Christmas. But you know, like when you're home and you're with family and you're shopping or you're baking cookies or doing anything like that, it's not quite like rest all day. Which today wasn't really rest all day either. I got groceries and did a lot of chores, but anyhow, I'm rambling. So I saw this piece stitched on the wall of a local needlework shop, and I fell in love with it. For some reason, about a month ago, I decided I'm gonna buy it because it had stuck in my head since then. I saw it back in February or March, and as I mentioned, since then it's been one that has been on my wish list. This is called In Heaven and Nature Sing. It's by Kathy Barrick, and I did take this out of the plastic for you. It is this beautiful deer. Might be a reindeer. I'm gonna call it a deer though because it doesn't look like a caribou. But it has holly around its neck. There's 2 cardinals on its back, and then of course at the top it says In Heaven and Nature Sing. And it's a very primitive style, but I saw it and it was just so stunning in person. And so I decided I was gonna get it, and I was gonna splurge because this pattern calls for 9 needlepoint silks. And guess what I did? I bought the needlepoint silks. So these are going to be my very first time. This is my very first time working with silk threads. I have not started this. I thought about starting it on Christmas, but I was traveling on Christmas, and I was in the middle of doing the Ray block on my Sing Sampler, and I really just wanted to get that done. But this is the colorways. So this is a pumpkin. This is maple brown. So I bought 2 of the brown because that reindeer is the brown, and I wanted to make sure I had enough to finish him. And then there's a few greens and a darker red, a gray, and a black. So those are the silks, and they're very soft. It's the first time I felt silks, and I'll be interested to work with them for sure. I'm just very excited that I have everything to do this project, and it's kind of fun that I can keep it in mind as like if I'm ever feeling like I need a new start, I have it. The fabric I chose for it is a 36 count platinum. It's a 13 by 18 piece, just kind of boring. And then before I left, I had picked out this Needleminder to put with it. It's just a little jingle bell that I got from Julie at Nifty Needle Nannies. So I think it's going to end up being, it's not going to be very big because this is 36 count, and it was recommended to stitch on 40 count, but I wanted it to be a little bigger than that, so I picked a 36 count. So I'm looking forward to that one. I just know that it's going to be beautiful. I remember standing in front of the one in the needlework store and just being like, that is so gorgeous. So I got it. I guess the plus side of working so much is that I have a little more disposable income. So that is that. And oh, I almost forgot. I did, so my parents, unbeknownst to them, were thinking about me when they picked their new house in Nashville, because they're about 6 minutes away from a needlework store, from an L&S. The one in Nashville It is in Nashville. It's called the Stitch and Post, and I went there over Christmas. Just kind of look around. They don't have a... So L&S for me is like very exciting because I get to see the fabrics. For whatever reason, the hand-dyed fabrics are like... That's the item that I like drool over in other people's videos. Because, you know, I have enough patterns right now. There's not really much that I'm like, ooh, I want to look through and find some new patterns because I have so many things I could stitch. But I thought, I'm there, so I might as well go take a look. And pardon me, I have to get it because I forgot that this should be in the video. But I was looking through their cross-stitch kits because I actually was originally thinking maybe I'll pick up some Mill Hill kits because that's where I bought my first Mill Hill kit earlier this year. But I looked up in the corner and I saw a piece. It's a kit that I have admired for, I mean, at least a year. It feels like a long time. And for those of you who have been stitching years and years and years, I've really only seriously been stitching about a year. It'll be 2 years in January. That's when my Flossiversary will be again. But this is a project that I admired that other people had to stitch. And I would look it up on eBay or Amazon, and it's for sale for $70, $80. And I just couldn't justify it. I guess it's discontinued. I don't think they're making any more of it, so that's why the price is so high on those websites. But I looked up and I saw it. This is Leonardo. It's a Dimensions Gold collection, and it is a beautiful tabby who is sitting in and amongst all of these painting supplies. And as you may know, I teach painting classes. I enjoy painting. And I've always just been artsy, so this combines painting and cats. So I had to get it, and it was a normal price for a Dimensions Gold collection kit. So I'm just so amazed that I found it, and it just felt like a stroke of luck, and you know, I just felt like it was meant to be because I looked up, it was on the front. I didn't have to search for it. I was just like, I have to get that. So I did. I don't know when I'll start him. I have Napping Kitten, Warm and Fuzzy Kitten, and Ebony and Ivory that are all cat kits by Dimensions, I think. So I feel like I should get some of those done before I start him. But now that I have him, I don't have to worry about, you know, finding it later for an affordable price. Yeah, he's beautiful. I love how pleasant this cat looks. He's like a little chubby. He's rather stocky. He just looks... he looks kind of pleased with himself to be in that mess, doesn't he? But anyway, I was very excited to find that. I also bought some needles when I was there, I mentioned earlier. And that was on my list. That's kind of the main reason I went there. So how we're going to do these Needleminders, because there are so many new ones, is I'm going to bring the whole board up here, which has gotten a lot heavier than it used to be. And I'll just show you the new ones. So the first new batch was one I mentioned in my previous video that I had ordered, but it was still waiting for it to arrive. And the reason I ordered that batch was because Julie had been teasing me with this Needleminder for months. And it had not arrived and not arrived. And then finally it arrived and I was like, I have to get it. And then, of course, you have to justify the shipping, you know. So this is the Peter Pan and Tinkerbell combo Needleminder that I had mentioned in my last video. Aren't they adorable? It's kind of odd seeing Tinkerbell as big as Peter. And they're holding hands, but it's pretty cute. I love how detailed that Peter is too, with the lock of hair, the bangs, and the dagger. And Tinkerbell looks cute. They're adorable little shoes with the one little rhinestone on them. So that one's very sweet. I like it a lot. And so along with that minder, we're going to see if I can remember what came with which. I decided that I liked my Pokemon minders I showed you last time so much that I needed to get some more of them. So I originally had Meowth, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. You saw Mew already. That was a new minder. This is Jigglypuff. Cute little, called the balloon Pokemon because it inflates itself with air and sings. So this is a cute Jigglypuff with a big bow on her head. Very sweet. I got Jiggly. I got, this one is Eevee, which is a very popular Pokemon. It evolves into, I think, 7 different types now. You can kind of pick which one would be most useful for your Pokemon team in the game. And then, of course, classic, a really, really adorable Pikachu. I like that a lot, actually. Pikachu's pretty overrated, but it's also pretty cute. So I got those. I believe I got that Jingle Bell that you saw on my fabric for Let Heaven and Nature Sing. I think I got this little Ariel. Because I love Ariel. Little Mermaid was a movie that I have very fond memories of. It was my favorite when I was little. I would sing songs all the time. And my mom made me a really gorgeous Little Mermaid costume. It had shiny fabric for the tail and shiny shells up here, and it had a big plastic rhinestone jewel for the belly button. It's cute. And then what was really lovely is that with that order, Julie sent me some extra bonus Halloween treat Needleminders. And she sent me this really cute sparkly jack-o'-lantern. And she sent me this really adorable spider. And it has green cheeks and a red hat. There we go. Oh, so I have some sweet little minders there for Halloween. I've started to collect like kind of seasonal ones so that when I have seasonal projects, I feel like I have appropriate minders to use for them. And I think that was about it for that order. And then I wouldn't be so bad. However, Gina and Julie both had Cyber Monday sales. So I kind of went a little crazy. We'll start with the ones I got from Gina's unique Needleminders, because I can specifically remember which ones I got when, and which ones I got from her, and then it'll be just the rest are from Julie. So she had a select number of Needleminders that she was putting up for a really great price, and one was a collection of Toy Story Needleminders. So there's a really cute Jessie and Woody, which is fun. I had to, of course, get Jessie. Jessie's another one of my favorite redheaded characters. And then I was like, oh, I can't get Jessie without Woody. So I got Woody too. And then another redheaded character, I got this adorable Merida. And I was so bummed that I missed out on the Meridas earlier in the year. So I was really excited to see her on sale for the Cyber Monday sale. And this Merida is actually the favorite of the ones I've seen. So there she is. She's so cute. She's got her bow. Of course, her crazy curly hair. And then also from Gina, I got these 4 are all in a set. And I don't know why I got them. I guess I really enjoyed the movies, the live action movies in the 90s. And I really liked Also, the animated show I watched when I was little. I didn't watch the original black and white show all that much, but I remember enjoying the animated show and the movies when I was younger, and it is the Addams Family. So you have, of course, Gomez in his striped suit with his cane and his mustache. I love it. I just love it. And Morticia looking fabulous as always, just slaying with her skin-tight dress. Look at that hand to the side. Sensible streak of white in the hair in this minder. And then you have Pugsley. And then, probably like a lot of other people, my favorite character was always Wednesday. And Wednesday Addams is actually a dream role of mine for the musical version of the Addams Family. I would love to play her someday. So that might be another reason why I was attracted to this one. And then I thought, well, I can't get just Wednesday. I have to get the whole family. So I did. Oh boy. So that is the minders that I got from Gina. The minders that I got on sale from Julie, and I actually forgot one that I got in that previous order, but I'll just include it with this because really it doesn't matter too much. But I got this really cool Jurassic Park one. You don't see a lot of dinosaur ones, so I was so thrilled to find this, and it's the Jurassic Park logo with light blue. So cool. You guys find the coolest things. So the ones I got on sale from Julie for Cyber Monday. I'm going to pick this up, hopefully get it in the next 9 minutes so that we can have an hour video and not much longer. I got my first book locket minder, and this one is one that some of you might have heard of. It's Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot. And this group of poems is the poems that the music and the lyrics from Cats are based on. Cats the musical. Most of the songs in Cats are word for word the poems in this book. So I saw that one and I was like, oh, I should get that. Because especially since I worked on the costumes for Cats this year, that's pretty special. And it's always been a very special show to me. One of my favorites. So I got that. Thinking about Valentine's Day, I got this really adorable clay Hershey's Kiss, and it is made with a polymer clay that is sparkly. There you can see the sparkle really well. It has a cute face and it says smooch, and it has a little heart on it. And I thought about having this for any Valentine's Day piece I would want to do. And what's really cool about these clay minders is that they are made one by one, and although the design might be replicated, because they're handmade, not one of them is going to be the same. So it's just very special to have that. And I know Julie has a lot of other clay minders for sale on her page right now. So definitely take a look at those. They're pretty cool. So there is the Hershey's Kiss Valentine's Day one. I got this one thinking about the 4th of July. It's just a nice red, white, and blue jewel. I like that. Thinking about Thanksgiving. I got a cute little turkey. He looks a little worried. And I got another beautiful fall leaf, very sparkly. I love that orange color. That's what says fall to me, is the orange color. And I got this beautiful sparkly starfish. Thought for a summer design or a beachy design, that would be nice. Very pretty. And then I got, for Halloween, candy corn. I love these mini minders because they're still really cute and really blingy, but they're very affordable. And then I saw these and was like, how did I miss them before? So I had these flat Pikachu and Bulbasaur from before. I had those guys already. Well, I saw when I looked at the sale that I had missed somehow some other Pokemon. So I got, sorry, hold on, my magnets pulled together there for a second. Okay, so I got Charmander, Squirtle, and Eevee. So, more Pokemon. I just can't resist the Pokemon. If you want Brittany to spend money at your store, put Pokemon things in it, and I'll buy it. And then this a really cool Pikachu in a Pokeball. How neat is that guy? And he has 2 rhinestones right here in his black eyes that are really cute. It's like he has stars in his eyes. So, and then, I almost missed these 2 down here. Just some little tiny ones. I got, these are like a half sugar skull artwork of Merida. You can kind of see it there. And then the other one is Anna. And surprise, surprise, they're both the redheads, which is why I got them. So yeah, looking at my board, I'm pretty sure those are all the new ones. If you were very observant and you were like, Brittany, that one is one that we haven't gotten, and you want to hear about it, I guess, put it in the comments. But there's not really too much to say. So, yes, I'm getting full. There's not much space for any more, much more minders than that. So, I still have quite a few in projects. I know I have one more dragon that's on my leopard. I have my 2, my Merida and my Ariel that I got from Gina, some of my very first ones. And yeah, there's a few more out there. There's an octopus on my Emerald Mermaid, that Peter Pan one. So someday it would be fun to take them all off my projects and just get a picture of all of the ones that I have. Well, while I'm at it, I got the cross stitch part done in the first hour, but there's a couple other things I want to show you because I promised in my last video. I thought, at the end of my videos, I'll make an Ingleside Imaginarium set. So anything that's not costume related or cross stitch related will go in this, and that includes the costumes. So you guys saw that last time I was working on some costumes for a kid's production of the Velveteen Rabbit. And I finished all of those and got them shipped to where they needed to be. And they apparently went over really well. But you only got to see my pin the tail donkey. So I also did the skin horse. I did the cymbal monkey. I did the toy soldier, the Jack in the Box. I did the 2 Velveteen Rabbits. And then there was Robbie the Robot. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a little slideshow of those costumes if you want to see. I think they turned out pretty cute. And then the other big thing that I finished is every year for the last, this was my 4th year to participate in it, I do a kind of Christmas time Secret Santa swap with another doll maker around the world. So this year I got paired with someone from Australia, and she said that she liked wolves, foxes, and cats. And I thought, I haven't done a canine in a while. So I decided I was going to make her a fox, which then kind of looked more like a wolf and now is just a canine of indeterminate species. But here are some pictures of him. I think he turned out pretty well, and I really hope that his new owner likes him as well. Really pretty cool to have sent him to Australia and have gotten something from Australia back. Last year I exchanged with someone in Canada. The year before that I exchanged with someone in Sweden, and then the year before that I exchanged with someone in Texas. So it's just really neat to have different work from really talented doll makers and artists around the world. In fact, not this video, because this video is long enough, but I was thinking maybe I would feature some of the really cool things that I've either traded for or bought from other people, because I think it would be nice to promote my other artists and share their wonderful work with you guys. And I know a lot of you are attracted to fantasy and fantasy creatures, so I think you'll enjoy seeing them. I believe that is all for this video. I'm planning to do a year in review video, which will feature, of course, all of my current whips and anything that I finished this last year. But my voice is pretty tired tonight, and if I put up 3 videos in one night, it wouldn't be quite so exciting as if they were spread out, right? Sure. So, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry again that it was such a long time. I always say it's going to be better, it's going to be better. And luckily you guys still come back and watch my videos. But maybe I'll try and make it a New Year's resolution to be more active here on Flosstube. You can find, in the meantime, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm BlimeyCat there, BlimeyCat. I also have the Ingleside Imaginarium Facebook group, which you can follow, and there's a Facebook page, and now there's a new Facebook group for people who are stitching Ingleside Imaginarium patterns, so you're welcome to look there as well and kind of keep up on what's going on. But yes, thank you guys for all your support. It's really nice to know that despite everything that happens in the real world, even if people get busy, I can come back and enjoy spending some time with you and your videos and your stitching in Stitchmania and on Flosstube and on Instagram. And I just sincerely, I'll say it now, if I make my year in review video, I'll say it then too. I just sincerely wish that everyone has a fantastic new year. It's full of endless possibilities. I know a lot of people experienced a really rough 2016, but life moves forward and it's a brand new year. There's lots of opportunity. And I'm choosing to try and enter it being hopeful. And, even if all else fails, know that there's going to be some good stitching in 2017. I have a feeling about it. I think for everybody there's going to be some new starts. There's going to be some exciting finishes. There's going to be some really special haul. Who knows? That's what's great about this time of year and looking to the future, is that anything could happen next year. So with that, and with that wish, I'm going to say Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and happy stitching. See you next time. Bye.